Hey guys, welcome back. It is Wednesday, July 21st. Hope you had a good day in the stock market. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, GME, options, plays, overall market. Yeah, what's going on? Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. And we also have a Twitter you can follow us on at HappyMoneyYT. And we have a Discord. You can get on there too if you'd like. I tweeted this out. So Bitcoin, there was a conference call, basically, whatever it was, an event. The B word. It was called the B word, and it was Jack Dorsey, Elon Musk, and Cathie Wood, and they were talking about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin had a mega rally here for a bit. It's kind of funny. So I tweeted this out. Lots of theories on Bitcoin and what it's being used for, and how it can be used for a lot that maybe it shouldn't be able to be used for. Anyways, so there's that tweet. Follow us on Twitter. GME today, yeah, it had a consolidation day, and if you watched yesterday's video, I was fired up, and I said I was probably early on the play. That was yesterday, and I said tomorrow could consolidate. And that's what we got. I was early, and I kind of knew I was early, but I was excited, and I wanted exposure in case this was some covering going on and it continued into after hours or tomorrow, or which was today. But it didn't. So basically I paid the biggest premium I could yesterday for my plays, but it's no big deal. After hours yesterday, it actually held up pretty well until in the morning. I think, yeah, the morning kind of took a dump, but held on pretty strong. Low volume again today, and kind of sold off, but it was overbought on the hourly. That's why, patience always plays out. When I did see those candles coming into close yesterday, though, it got me hyped for this being the actual bottom and reversal. That being said, again, we still could trade in this range and kind of consolidate back and forth for a bit before we actually rip. But today actually held up quite well. We do have this hourly candle that kind of dipped below. But overall, if you're just looking at yesterday's rally, so let's see yesterday, it went up 6%, right? So it's a strong day. It looks like a nice reversal. Bottom, MACD's good. And then towards the end of the day is when we had that, whatever happened, the hedge funds covering, that brought us up to there. So that was that last like 4%, which just ripped us up into the high overbought territory on the RSI. So if you just discount all of that up there that went on, we're really back where we were just yesterday after we had a nice 6% rally during the day. So this is what consolidation looks like. It might swing up, might swing down, but if you just look at the average kind of area, we're consolidating in this 185 range. So it'll come up, it'll come down. I think the range is bigger than this, though, potentially. I feel like, today I was kind of hoping the MACD would cross over on the daily. I don't think it will unless it rips up in the last half hour here. I was hoping for a green candle above the 9 on the daily, as well as a MACD crossover. It's just, that's why I said I was early yesterday, because I was like, I'm anticipating this crossing over. Not to say that this isn't a floor, but with it not crossing over yet, there's less conviction that we're not going to trade in this range, kind of like we did back here. See right here, we had this big green candle, and then, but see, the MACD never crossed over, and then it kind of melted up, and then it came down. Still no MACD crossover, but we were making higher lows there and higher highs. And then right here, we had a little crossover, but it was just a little false breakout and just basically kept consolidating this range. Held this floor right here. Hopefully it's not a long process of weeks like this was before we get another fail to deliver rip or whatever is the cause in the case. But yeah. So I was expecting us, where we are now is kind of right here. So green kind of bouncing off the bottom off that support, and then a little doji day consolidation, and then another green, and then kind of this. So I was hoping we were here, but if we are truly kind of repeating this pattern. SPY's kind of coming down here. This is actually good. I just actually got SPY puts. I'm going to talk about that in a minute though. But then we had almost a week of consolidation before we really ran. So at this point, yeah, this is early. Typically you're not just going to come down and just V straight back up. It's going to come down, bounce around for a bit, consolidate, and then move up. And you can see once it's consolidated in that, and it's bouncing around with your moving averages and your indicators to kind of tell you, okay, it's basically gathered enough strength to make a run now. And I'd say tomorrow, hopefully we cross over tomorrow on the MACD. However, I think if nothing else, I think we will stay at least in this range for the next few days, above the 158, and then maybe this is kind of our top, this 190, 191. Just because this hasn't crossed over yet, that kind of changes everything for me. Once we get a nice daily green candle over this 9 moving average, we get this MACD crossing over, we get a green on the histogram, it's all bullish, then I'm like, okay. And that's why I was a little early on my calls. They're down quite a bit, but I haven't closed them. This still to me is a bottom, and it could run from here, because if we look back here, even this was kind of a crazy time, but this is hard to see because the candles are so consolidated and small. But look here. So this is after we had a long drop from that January sneeze. MACD is bearish. It's slowly melting down. Bearish MACD, bearish, bearish, bearish. And we get this huge day. Given that this wasn't dropping too hard, it was kind of just melting down but consolidating. But it wasn't like, it didn't have much momentum coming down. It pretty much had flattened out. That's the only difference between this and where we are. Where we are, it's kind of come from more of an aggressive downward momentum. So for it to kind of just revert and go straight back up from that is probably less likely, because this was pretty flat here. And then we had this huge green day, lots of volume, and the MACD still hadn't even crossed over on that day. So it took one more day. And then, then we crossed over and it was bullish, even though that was technically a red day. But yeah, so I was a little early on it. We might consolidate for another week, honestly. It's hard to know at this point. There's no clear set trend. The MACD is still bearish on the daily. Candlesticks would tell me that this is a bottom and we've bounced, and that we'll probably consolidate in this range for foreseeable future. I don't know how long before we make another run. On the hourly, it's still looking good though. As you see, it came down here, but really this is consolidation, and you can see the MACD just coming down here, touching the signal. Hasn't turned bearish. It's stayed above, and you're seeing it's kind of bouncing right off of it. Look, it just didn't even let it cross over. So bounced off of that pretty nicely, and you can even see it here on the 5 minute with the moving average. Kind of bounced off this 9 or this 180 moving average. So that's to say that this could consolidate and rally from here. It might not come down for more consolidation, because on the hourly I was looking for it to come down off that RSI, and it's come down off that RSI. Now it's at a nice kind of equilibrium, so it's kind of setting up a nice consolidation base right here in my opinion. So I don't think it'll come back down, even down to here. Again, it could trade in this range, but going back to the RSI and it's kind of the indicators on the hourly, I think it's kind of just consolidating today. And this is somewhat of a bull flag and pendant on that. And then on the daily, same sort of deal. This is pretty good price action, really. But I'd give it another day or so, see what happens here, and hopefully it's a gamma squeeze by Friday. Having that Bitcoin rally today, it literally just looked like it was directly sucking the life out of GME. It was really crazy to see it. I'd not seen it like that directly inverse before. So this is 14.15. It's right here. So look right here, kind of turning down, but then these couple big 5 minute candles were right here. Boom. That's when Bitcoin just rallied heavy. And then when it started to settle back down, GME started to find a floor and kind of come back up a little bit. So yeah, I haven't really seen it. I mean, we've seen it with Bitcoin on larger time frames. Like when Bitcoin's coming down, GME might have a good day because hedge funds are having to pull capital out of that to cover some short positions, or at least have enough capital in their account to not have to cover, to to satisfy margin requirements, but I haven't seen it in that close of a time frame. And that was Bitcoin. It did have that pump, so it might keep dumping. Like I've said on Bitcoin, it's looking very bearish. It still is, even after this rally. I mean, it's still bearish on the MACD. This is just literally coming back up just above the moving average, but still it's not showing a reversal to me at all. It was a big rally, but it's not like it's up here, you know, above the resistance. Once it breaks out up here, then I'm like, okay, this something might be different once it's at 42,000 or something. But the fact that it's down here and it's just melting down still, and this, yeah, everything's bearish about this still. So it might, I mean, it's gonna have some rallies up and down on its way down, but given that it just melted down, at some point it's just gonna fall off this floor. It's gonna break through all these supports, these 28,000 supports, and probably go, I don't know how far to go on that drop, but maybe 23, and eventually I think probably to 19 or so. So option plays, and we did some day trading today. So for a little loss porn for you guys, if you want to see why you need to have patience. Our 230 calls that expire on Friday, we're down 62%, $4,000 down on those, or no, sorry, 3,300 down on those total. Those had a 60, 30, a 90% swing just from yesterday close to right now. That's why you want to buy when it's boring and not exciting, and sell when it's exciting. I kind of throw some of the rules out because GME is very specific and a very cute situation where it's going to be a different event than we've ever seen in history, I believe. So that being said, you can still practice this. If I was patient and it was a squeeze and it rallied, I would still be able to get calls today. They would have just been probably 3 times more expensive. So anyways, next week, Friday, 320 calls. These are down overall 35%. So 3,100 on those. I actually bought more of these today. I scaled into it some, so I averaged down some on it. Our put credit spread, I averaged down on that also, so I have even more exposure. Again, I'm bullish on it on the hourly, especially on GME. So the daily hasn't crossed over, so that's the only thing I'm kind of waiting on. But on the hourly, to me it looks good. This is kind of a consolidation from this, 10% rally yesterday to have a little pullback of 3 to 4% the next day is that's healthy for it to consolidate. And here you are right here. It's leveled out and hit a nicer spot on the RSI there. So I am still bullish on the week. Really tomorrow though, gonna have to see if it's red and like down another 3-4%, then yeah, I'm gonna say we're probably just gonna trade in this range right here. We're not gonna get a MACD crossover on the daily, not yet. But if we have 3 or 4% at least to the upside, this is gonna cross over, and it will grow my conviction even more for this week and next week to do, what we did back here. Like this was a week and this was a week. Yeah. So, yep, waiting on that. Put credit spread, shares, swinging around all over the place. We have puts we sold. This is a put that I bought, but that gave me more buying power, so it turned it into like a credit spread. So that's kind of nice. Let me show you what we did. We day traded MRIN today. Sold. Okay, so I legged into coin. I had the coin calls and Airbnb calls. These are ones I called out yesterday. And coin continued to rally. I could have waited to leg into that, but coin looked good today. I just didn't want exposure. Airbnb is still looking good. On the daily though, this is where it's to me it could just be coming up this moving average and then kind of consolidate here. If you zoom out, it looks like, okay, it's found a floor here, so it's probably not going to just keep dumping, but it could just need to consolidate here, or it might rally. I'm kind of waiting to see if it crosses over this 9 moving average with any steam, and if it does, then it'll keep going. But our plays, we're not going to really get much exposure to that. So I had a 138 call. I bought it for $206. It went up, I don't know, it's up 180% now. However, at one point I sold the $139 call, well, 2 of them, and I sold those for $246. So I explained this actually yesterday. So basically the calls that I sold, they lost value, And so that's how you're kind of hedged on it. Because the calls that I bought, they're in the money, but they're gonna lose value if we lose momentum. And so yeah, when I close this play out, it will be, we've made 46 on it, and then if we go to close it, we'll make another 128. Yeah, so total, so that'd be the cap, that'd be the net gain on it, which would be 180 something, right? Something like that. Anyways, did that with Airbnb and coin. Coin was up a lot more, but yeah, this one I legged into also. So the call I sold is actually up also now because this one has come down some, I think. So that's where the kind of the legging in works pretty well. So when I sold the call, I bought the calls on coin this day, came up a bunch, sold a call this day on it, or no, maybe it was today. Yeah, I sold it today, and since then it's come down. So that call I sold has lost value, so that's where you're seeing it on the other end of it, which is nice. And then MRIN, bought MRIN, just it was one of the ones on my watch list. It was running up today. This is actually kind of the same setup I saw with coin. It was RSI divergence again. So MACD had crossed over bullish right here, and we had a low right here. RSI was 22, it says right there, 22.043. At a lower low here, RSI is 21, so it was a higher, so that's where the divergence is. That along with the MACD crossover, and then basically this is what I was seeing right here. I was seeing a lot of volume, big green over the 9 moving average. I mean, the thing was up probably 9% when I bought shares of it. So yeah, it was doing this right here. I bought in like right here, came up, kind of settled down, and then actually kind of, I just left it. I'm like, I'm gonna leave it, looks good. So I left it and it came down, and then it started rallying towards the end of the day. And then, so I actually sold out like right here, right about here. Yep. And made almost $1,000 on it actually, because I put in a pretty big amount. It was, I bought 400 shares. 400 shares for $8.90, sold, scaled them out at 1160, 1050, 1060, 1070. So that was the other play, a little day trade. GME, yeah, scaled into that. SPX, so I really should be trading on SPX and not SPY. And I shared it on our Discord under my happy notes. This basically section 1256 for capital, it's for taxes. Since SPX is directly the S&P 500, the option chain for that, it's taxed differently. It's basically better taxes. So I'm gonna try and start trading on the SPX. I've done it some for that reason, then I went back to SPY for some reason. I don't know why, but got a $4,300 put for that, and that expires on Friday. So basically it's, I don't even actually have it on Webull. It won't show me SPX, I don't think, no. So it's the same thing as SPY, but it's just basically at a zero. So it's 4,300, so we're looking at $430 on SPY. It's a 430 for Friday. I'm kind of hoping this rally doesn't break out to new highs, all-time highs, like it did back here and back here and back here and back here. I might have a lost hope, but it's not showing me anything of a reversal really on the hourly, other than these small little bodied candles and dojis that can indicate a reversal and kind of a top. And you start getting just little bodies as well as, you know, candles on both ends. And then on the daily, of course, it's still bearish. We've got MACD in the bearish territory. We've got green under the 9 moving, red under the 9 moving, and yeah, so it's still bearish. We've got lower highs. I guess this would be lower lows if you did those. So we'll see on that. But that's what I got for you guys today. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. We're down 14 grand today. Woo! We will see you tomorrow. Peace out.